You've lived in two societies that had a history of slavery and racial oppression, the Bahamas and the United States. Now, how did race relations differ in the two societies, in your opinion, and which society seems more at ease today with its diversity?
Which of the two societies, the Bahamas and the United States?
Yes.
Excuse me. Well, I have to tell you, and I have to be, absolutely clear about this. It is important for us to remember what America was, and what America was totally unacceptable in terms of values. What America is today is infinitely better than what it was. Truly, truly better. My presence in the motion picture industry is an example. The presence of black athletes who in some measure dominate many sports today that they were not permitted to play with white people. There are many, many instances in which the America that I knew when I was 15 years old has changed, and I salute that, and I support that, and I vote for that. So things have changed vastly. Now, to your question, which of the two cultures? I would pick the Bahamas only because the Bahamas had a political party called the POP, for instance. And that party had leadership consisting of guys like Lyndon Pindling, who became the first prime minister, guys like Mitch Hanna and Orville Turnquest, Milo Butler, and others who took the Bahamas to independence and freedom. I lived through that. I was in the Bahamas when some of those guys were like myself, young, and they were going to school. Fortunately, their folks were able to send some of them off to Britain and to Canada to study law and all that. And many of them came back and got to work to getting their country in the hands of the majority people. And they succeeded. They succeeded. So I have to say, Bahamas by far.
This is my last question, and then if you're still willing, we'll invite one or two from the audience. Have you ever watched a Bahamian audience watching one of your films? And what was that experience like?
Well, the experience was great, just great. That experience mostly in America. I did a picture called Uptown Saturday Night, and I gotta tell you, I sneaked into the movie house and stood in the back, and there was a group of African American women who apparently were maids and housekeepers and stuff, who were on their way home after getting off from work, and they were carrying their usual bag of food and other stuff that they were given at their job site. And I stood in the back of a theater in New York City downtown, and I watched the movie with them sitting. Well, let me tell you, they had the best time. They laughed, and Bill Cosby was in that movie, and they were on the floor because Bill Cosby was so funny. It was a great experience. It was a great experience, and I really don't carry any particular feeling about who likes my movies or who don't. I think that the body of my work, and that amounts to 56 movies, in 56 movies, I have given such audience as I might have had, I've given them the best I could. And I think that that goes for both the Bahamians and the Americans.
Are you open? Are you game for a few more questions from the audience?
Now you have the audience sitting right there.
So it doesn't look good to say no. I understand. Well, tell you what, I'll have one or two of them come up then.
Oh.
If they would just hurry.
That's cute now. Anyway, yes.
All right.
Answer some questions.
While they're coming, which of the films did you direct that you're most proud of?
Which of the films I directed that I was most proud of? I directed 9 movies. And the ones I am most proud of were the series I did with Bill Cosby and Harry Belafonte.
One more.
Okay.
The picture with Harry called Buck and the Preacher.
That's my favorite myself. All right, we're all set.
Okay.
Let's identify yourself.
Good afternoon, Sir Sidney. My name is Charles Gentry. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Michigan. You are the subject of Chapter 5 of my dissertation, so I really do appreciate this opportunity to speak with you and to be here in the Bahamas. A question. In my research, I came across a Time magazine article from September 21, 1959, where it is reported that you, Harry Belafonte, and Jackie Robinson helped to raise over $100,000 in scholarships and provided travel funds for 81 African students to come to the United States for college. 78 of those students were Kenyan students, and I was wondering if you could tell us more about your encounter with Tom Mboya, a politician from Kenya, and if you recall whether or not one of those students was Barack Obama Sr.
I cannot. I cannot because you're taking me back a long way.
That's quite all right.
And I am 83 years old. My memory is not as sharp as yours. My brain is not as facile as yours. And I object you putting that kind of responsibility on me. But with that said, I will answer it as best I can. The chap that you mentioned, who was the first one?
Tom Mboya.
Tom Mboya was killed.
Yes.
As you know, and he was looked at as a possible savior for that part of the world, particularly his own country. Unfortunately, he was taken away. I made a picture in his country, Kenya. I played a picture. What was the name of it?
Kimani and something of value.
Well, I'll be damned.
It all comes back to you.
With Kenya, and I have a love for Kenya, and I was a huge supporter of Jomo Kenyatta. As a matter of fact, the picture I made in Kenya was about the Mau Mau.
Yes.
Mau Mau was a resistance movement that he headed, and ultimately brought about the freedom of Kenya. And so Mr. Obama's father, I don't know. I very well might have seen him there, might have met him there, but I have no recollection because